Okay, so now for the adjustment step. This is going to take a little bit of measuring and a little bit of math, so I'm sorry about that. But basically what you need to do is you're looking to get about 58.5 to 59 inches between the two rearward. So the top two and the bottom two rearward bolts need to be at about 58.5 to 59 inches apart. But the trick is that you also want them to be, essentially the ends, to be equidistant from the inside of the truck, so that way your cargo box is centered. So again, you can figure out the math. Right now I've got 58 and 5 inches there and about 5 1/4 inch there. So I'm going to take this one in about 3/4 of an inch just by loosening up the nut and then screwing it in a little bit further. So I want to get it down to about 4 3/4. Might be able to do some of this math ahead of time, you know, if you measure your truck. This one I'm going to take down about 1/4 of an inch, from 5 to 3 1/4, 4 3/4. Okay. Perfect. So now I've got essentially 58 3/4 of an inch, so right in between 58.5 and 59. So I can go ahead and tighten those up. I'll measure the bottom ones. We want to have about the same length. Here I'm at 59.5, so they have to come out just a little bit. Loosen them up. Okay, so again, your AeroBox is about 58.5 inch wide at the rear, and then it tapers to about 57.5 inches forward. So it has, you know, kind of like a self-centering taper to it. So the rods at the rear should be, like I say, about 58.5 to 59, and the rods at the front should be about, say, 57.5 to 58, and that's what we've got now. Again, you might have to readjust these a little bit once you get the box in, but that's the basic initial adjustment. Then what you want to do is you want to thread a nut onto each one about an inch. We'll thread it on about an inch and put a washer on the end. So I'll do that to each one. And the inch is basically the thickness of the AeroBox side pod. Do this to the other side. Once you get those on, this is our driver's side pod. So you assemble the slots over the top of the studs. And then on each one you'll be putting a flat washer and a lock washer and then a nut. And just tighten those down a bit. Again, odds are you're going to need a little bit of adjustment, so we're not tightening anything down permanently right now. But we'll get it into basic position and then we'll put the AeroBox in and check the fit. We basically do the same thing to the passenger side. Flat washer. And a lock washer. And a nut onto each one. So again, as a sanity check, once you kind of have things in and they're installed, one thing that I forgot to do is I need to push this back to our mark. We'll do that in a minute. But just kind of check from inside surface to inside surface. At the back, I measure about 58 3/4, so that's actually pretty good here. But when I measure from front to front, I'm off by a bit. I'm too narrow. So I'm going to go ahead and make that adjustment now. Again, I should be about 57.5, 58 inches between inside surface to inside surface at the front here to allow for the taper of the box. So I'll go ahead and make that adjustment by adjusting the lower bolt in a little bit. Okay, so again, we just want to make sure that we're about 58.5 to 59. 58.5 to be a little tight, so give yourself a little bit of gap. So 58.5 to 59 on the rearward side, and about 57.5 to 58, and probably closer to 58 on the forward side, and then your box should go in fine. If it's a little tight or a little loose, you're just going to be basically adjusting the nuts in and out until you get the right fit. A little bit of an iterative process to get it just right. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. We'll just set it up in there. Again, if you need any adjustment, if it's a little too tight or a little loose, just move the nuts in and out, re-secure them. You're probably going to want to check the tightness of the nuts for the first little while, just to make sure that things aren't loosening up, after some driving. So let's just test the ability to slide it in and out. So that's how it docks out that quickly. We could spin it around, drop it down on the wheels, wheel it away, bring it back, grab this end, slide it around, and then just dock it back in. So one last step that will allow you to basically lock the AeroBox in place so that people can't undock it unless they can get inside the box and undo these quarter turn fasteners that basically go from the inside of the box into a little receptacle in the side pods. So there's a little mark already there in your box for where to drill with a 3/8 inch drill. So just drill out that mark For when you don't have the quarter turn fastener in, we've supplied little plugs, again, because we want to make sure that your box is nice and dry. You can see the quarter turn fastener receptacle through the hole. And I'll just use the quarter turn fastener here, put it in, give it a quarter turn, that's locked. Do the same to the other side. I have supplied washers because sometimes you need a little bit of an adjustment. That one's got a washer on it, this one doesn't, because this one's a little tighter. So we lock that in like that. Close your AeroBox. And now you can't get it out. Okay, so no one can pull your AeroBox out. In order to slide it out, you take these out again quarter turn. Now I can easily pull the box out. Going to see what kind of volume we've got in terms of storage capacity. So Bill, why don't you throw your tools back in there.
If you remember when we started this thing, the back of the truck was disorganized, had a plank of wood, just trying to store everything. Now everything is going to be right where I need it. Even my suitcase for when I travel on business goes in there. Oh, my tie-down wraps. Power tools, battery power tools, and my scope. Got all my traveling and work stuff inside. Box is secured, it's not going to come out. Close the door. Put a little lock on them. My stuff is secure and safe. Close the tailgate.
Go ahead.
Don't even hardly know the box is in there. One nice feature I really like about the AeroBox is it hides nicely under my tonneau cover.
Now I'm going to show you how to adjust the latches, just so that you can kind of adjust how tightly the door closes up against the seal and for the smooth operation of your lock here. Right now it's adjusted really well, but let's say I want to pull it a little bit tighter to the seal. I can just bend this cam latch down just slightly and that'll pull it tighter. It's on a little bit of a slope on the slot there, so it'll enter the slot and then it'll tighten up as you turn it, and then it gets to a detent point. So that's if I want the door just a little bit tighter. If the latch is too loose, let's say I'll bend it up a little bit like that, then it'll actually have a hard time actually finding the slot, and you have to kind of wiggle the door to find it like that. So you're going to want to just, like I say, bend it slightly. Bend it a little bit more until you get it just the way that you like it. There, and that operation feels really good.